Okay, so we finished talking about impermanence and death, and that topic, you know, when we think that we're going to die, and we don't know when, and when we die, our karma and our habits come with us, but not our body possessions and friends and relatives, then it naturally leads us into thinking about refuge. And it leads us in two ways to thinking about refuge. One is, and this one is not specifically in the long run, but one is when you see you're going to die and that what you've been putting your energy into is kind of meaningless in terms of future lives, then it seems to me you automatically seek a method to make your life meaningful. And so you take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha because they teach the method to make the life meaningful. So you could go directly from death and impermanence to refuge. In the Lam Rim, you go from death and impermanence to the possibility of being reborn in the lower realms. Okay? And that is because if you're going to die, then the natural question is, where am I going to be reborn? And then you look at the karma you've created, and there's a good chance it's going to be a bad rebirth. And then you get quite concerned about that. And that concern makes you take refuge. Okay? So I think you could go either route, directly from death to refuge, but that's my thinking. That's not in the Lam Rim. The Lam Rim has you go through the lower realms. I think if you can do both, it becomes more powerful, because if you think about the possibility of a bad rebirth, you get concerned, and that can be very potent in telling us to, you know, get off our tush and do something, okay? And not just kind of, no, mañana a la mañana, you know, but we have to do something urgently, and we have to do something strongly, because otherwise we'll wind up in the lower realms. So that can be a very strong motivator, you know, stronger than just going directly from death to refuge, okay? But I think if you go from death to refuge, that in addition, you know, that other way, then that has the effect of really thinking, you know, I want to make my life meaningful. I want to make my life meaningful. And so not only do you know, of course, avoiding a bad rebirth is a way of making your life meaningful, but putting it as I want to make my life meaningful puts it in a different language and affects our mind a little bit differently. Okay? Because then we think of this life, I want to make my life meaningful. Yeah. Plus, next life, I don't want to be reborn in the lower realms. Therefore, in this life, I need to do something strongly. Okay? So I think both ways of doing it make the intensity of turning to the three jewels for refuge, and then following their first advice, which is to get our act together in terms of the karma, the actions we do. You know, following, it makes that whole process much more powerful for us.